Good evening, BookTube, YouTube. This is Johnny down in the lower level on it's a Tuesday. It's 7 o'clock in the evening here in West Michigan. It is the 31st of May, 2022. I'm down in the lower level. And someone made a comment that I should call the bookstore the lower level. See, I have a clock up there that when it gets 7 o'clock it makes bird sounds. You hear that sometimes in the videos. That clock up on that wall was my mother-in-law's clock that she had for years, and when she passed away and they went through the house to get rid of stuff, I took the clock. I took the clock, the bird clock, because my mother-in-law was really, she always fed birds. And I remember when she was alive and before she was put in assisted living, and she would ask me to take her to a hardware store to get bird food. That was many years ago, because we've lived in this house 33 years. I don't know how long Mom has been gone, a long time. Anyway, that's what you hear, is my mother-in-law bird clock. So every time it makes an hour, that bird was a robin that you heard. And the next bird will be a song sparrow. And then at 9 o'clock it is a, some kind of bird. Anyway, I'm into birds. So anyway, hope you're having a good Tuesday. You had a good weekend, a good Memorial Day. Yesterday, as you know, my wife flew in from Denver. She got here around 2:45 in the afternoon. We went down the street and had our oldest son, Caleb, grilled and spent time with him and the granddaughters, Josie and Cora, and little Ollie the dog. Had a good time. Good to see Carol being home. She had a good visit with our daughter Beth and her family, her husband Andy, Margaret, Louisa, Margaret, Jack, and little Nora Lee. No, Nora Jean. Cora Lee is down the street, and Nora Jean is in there in Denver. Of course, and we have our middle son, our middle child, Josiah, and Hannah, his wife, and little Marika, and little Lilia Jubilee. So anyway, in this video, I'm just going to show you, I've been mentioning used books from thrift stores all last month, well, this month. So since we're coming to the end of this month, the month of May 2022, I'm going to show you thrift store books and also books I got at Bluestockings. I went to Bluestockings, it was Saturday, because I had to pick a book up that I had put aside. I saw it was on sale for 50 cents, and it was arguably essays by Christopher Hitchens, and I looked at my Christopher Hitchens collection. I wasn't sure, so when I came home after going to Bluestockings just to look around, I saw this, and then when I saw I didn't have it, I called up Bluestockings and said, put it aside for me. So then Saturday, I went to Bluestockings last Saturday, got the book for 50 cents, and then they had a $1 bag sale. And so this is the books I got for $1. I picked up the Daemon Knows, Literary Greatness and the American Sublime by Harold Bloom, who's a very famous literary critic. This is on Walt Whitman, Herman Melville, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Emily Dickinson, Nathaniel Hawthorne, Henry James, Mark Twain, Robert Frost, Wallace Stevens, T.S. Eliot, William Faulkner, and Hart Crane. So I got this, I got this in the bag sale. And I've been wanting it. I collect the writings of Harold Bloom, and so I got that. And then I picked up this book I've been reading since I picked it up Saturday. Republic of Dreams, Greenville Village, The American Bohemia, 1910 to 1960 by Ralph Wetzsteon. This has been really a great read. I've been reading it since Saturday. Of course, I've been reading my Christian books in the morning, but in the afternoon and evenings, I've been reading this. Really enjoying it. I was reading on last chapter was Max Eastman and the radical newspaper, The Masses. And then you have Mabel Dodge's Salon, and now on Eugene O'Neill on the Provincetown Players. And then I picked up in my dollar bag at Bluestockings, What Lips My Lips Have Kissed, the Loves and Love Poems of Edna St. Vincent Millay, who also lived in Greenwich Village. I think there's a chapter in here on her. Let me see. Yeah, see, there's a chapter in the book on Edna St. Vincent Millay. She lived in Greenwich Village, I think with her mother and her sister. I'm not sure, but anyway. So I picked up this book, On the Res by Ian Frazier. I have all his books, and I had this book, The Res, but I couldn't find it, and so I just put it in the dollar bag. On the Res by Ian Frazier is about the modern day American Indians, especially the storied Ogalea Sioux, I can't pronounce it, who live now on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in the plains and badlands of the American West. Crazy Horse, perhaps the greatest Indian war leader of the 19th century, and Black Elk, the holy man whose teachings became known around the world, were Oglala. Frazier visits their descendants on Pine Ridge Reservation. So I picked that up. Been wanting that because I can't find my copy. And then I found Steward Onan, The Odds, the love story. I found out I already had this, so this will go into the van. These are novels I saw in my dollar bag. I put that looked interesting. The Ideal of Perfection by Kate Greenville, a winner of the Orange Prize, a New York Times notable book. If I see a New York Times notable book and it's for a quarter or 50 cents, I just buy them, and as long as they're not underlined. And I never heard of this writer. This came out in, what year did this one come out? Came out in, published by Penguin in 1999. This is another novel that looked interesting. Past Imperfect, a novel by Julian Fellows, Sunday Times best-selling author of Snobs. He was a British writer. It says here, the Evening Standard said, gloriously funny, bumpy ride through modern times. The Guardian says it is amusingly written, ends neatly, quietly, subverts the surface stereotyping of its characters, will have a certain kind of social story and swooning with pleasure. So, I don't know. This came out in 2008. Went into my dollar bag. This is a autobiography by Shirley Jackson about her family raising demons. I collect the writings of Shirley Jackson, and Life Among the Savages. She also wrote that, but this is Raising Demons. This is a very famous travel writer. Her name is Jan Morris. This is her opus, The World, Life and Travel, from 1950 to 2000. She's written travel books on Venice, Presence of Spain, The Matter of Wales, Manhattan, Hong Kong, Sydney, Travels with Virginia Woolf, 50 Years of Europe, Coast to Coast, South African Winter. So this is like her travel book. I like travel books, and I have other books by her, but I can't find them. So that's the books I got for $1. These are thrift store books. No, these are books I got from the Book Nook a week ago. This is African Madness. This is on a travel book. It's about a safari in Rwanda and other places. It's like Bruce Chadwin and Paul Thorax. I have his book on traveling the Southwest of America. We have that book. Let's see if it's listed here. Well, anyway, he's written a lot of travel books, but got this at the Book Nook. I picked up these Penguin books. This is The Song of Roland, Penguin Classics. And this is an Icelandic Saga, Njal's Saga, Penguin Classics. I got this at the Book Nook. It's a study of Dante's Inferno by Charles Williams, the figure of Patrice in Study in Dante. I think those are all the books I got recently. These are all from Goodwill. Julian Nenstrom Heinz, Melchi Hell, and Margarita. These are like a Naropa. I collect these Naropa. This is by Julian Nenstrom Heinz. This is translated out of... No, maybe it's not. Anyway, this is an Naropi. I collect Naropias. I got this at Gateway a couple of weeks ago. Beyond the Bounds, Open Theism, Undermining Biblical Christianity, edited by John Piper, Justin Taylor, and Paul Kloss Heiseth. I got this at some thrift store, the Seville Communion by Arturo Perez Rivera. I collect his writing. I had everything except this one in my collection of his books. I didn't dehaul him last summer. I found this at a Goodwill, Armageddon, The Battle for Germany, 1944 to 1945 by Max Hastings. He's very famous. He wrote other books on the Second World War. He's written books on the first anyway, this is his book on the Armageddon, The Battle for Germany, 1944 to 1945 by Max Hastings. This is another Penguin Classics. I can't pronounce it, but this is a Welsh stories from Wales. Fields of Battles. This is from Goodwill. Wars for North America by John Keegan. He's a very famous British military historian. I have lots of books by him. I already had a copy of paperback, so this will go on the van. And then I picked up The Triangle, The Fire That Changed America. I got this at Gateway Thrift Store by David Van Drill. Outstanding Social History at Its Best. A New York Times Review notable book. And then I picked up at some thrift store The Transient Venus by Shirley Hazard. I collect her writings. I didn't have this one in my Shirley Hazard collection. This is a book on Chicago, like a biography or a history of Chicago, Illinois, the Third Coast, when Chicago built the American Dream by Thomas Dijay. 100 notable books, New York Times Book Review 2013. I collect books on cities, New York, Chicago, San Francisco, Paris, London, Cairo. I got this at Gateway. This is by Simon Token. This is an historical fiction takes place in the First World War, No Man's Land. He's the grandson of Tolkien, who wrote The Hobbits. Historical fiction. Got this at Goodwill. Righteous Victims, A History of the Zionist-Arab Conflict, 1881 to 1999 by Benny Morris. I have another book of his somewhere in this library. I picked this up. I got this at Goodwill, Writers on the World War II, an anthology edited with a foreword by Mordecai Richler. And then I already had this book, but I got it at Goodwill. Mine's a hardback. This is an old paperback. A World at Arms, A Global History of the World War II by Gerard L. Winberg. This will go into the van to be taken to the book Nook or in-store credit at Bluestockings. So those are the thrift store books: Goodwill, Bibles to Mexico, Gateway Center, Bluestocking Bookshop, the Book Nook, our local library used bookstore where I volunteer on Mondays and Fridays. I didn't volunteer Monday because of Memorial Day. The library was closed. So now I can put these books away, put some in the van, and put them with the collections. I have a whole Edith St. Vincent Millay collection. That's why I got this. I have 5 or 6 books by Harold Bloom. He wrote prolifically. I mean, he just wrote at least 30, 40 books, maybe more. And I've been really pleased to get this in my dollar bag at Bluestockings. Really enjoy reading this. Republic of Dreams, Greenwich Village, The American Bohemia, 1910 to 1960 by Ross Wetzsteon. He was a writer for the Village Voice. He passed away in the 90s, and he did a lot of, this was like his opus that he left behind. He lived in Greenwich Village for 40 years, and it's really fascinating. I've read other books on Greenwich Village, so I really enjoy reading this. Now, this book was originally $35. I got it for nothing. I have been reading essays of Christopher Hitchens in here. Got this for 50 cents. Yeah, I've been reading out of this off and on. And in the morning I read Isaac Ambrose, Looking Unto Jesus. I read Rudolph of Saxony and the Life of Christ, and reading Hermann Bavinck, and I read the Bible, going to the Gospel of Matthew, the Gospel of Luke, Mark, and John. Writing in my diary, watching the birds. My wife's home, so life is good. I got books coming in the mail. I got a CD in the mail today, music, So don't know what I'll find at the Book Nook Friday when I volunteer. Haven't been there. Like I said, Monday it was closed. So I hope you had a good Memorial Day, that you're having a good reading week. Do pray that you will have a good June 2022. And thank you for your subscription. Thank you for your comments. Do pray you're all doing well. Pray for Ukraine. Pray for the people who suffered there in that town in Texas, those children who were massacred. Pray that the Lord will come quickly, bring in the eternal kingdom of glory. Until next time, once again, just thank you for your comments, thank you for your support, and until next time, bye.